Diane, playing a podcast Black Lodge Trivia Night. And there we should all be good. And yeah, I'm not getting any warnings.
You guys hear me?
I can hear it.
All right. We're professionals here, folks.
I have nothing to add to this.
My deviated septum is intermingling with my uvula in ways that I did not imagine possible.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could get on a watch list that fast just for your breathing, but apparently I just got an email.
Alexa is going to start sending you, and Amazon's going to start sending you. Do you need a breathing machine going? What the fuck?
No, it's going to be more like it's going to short circuit itself to put itself out of its misery. And...
like all three of our viewers just did. Oh
man.
How are you guys?
Doing great, Patrick.
Okay. Yeah. Looking forward to this. Been looking forward to this all day.
Yeah.
We're going to get back to some creepy stuff after some lighthearted, at least prep for fantasy. So this will be fun.
It's going to be good. And what exactly are we, you may be asking? This is Black Lodge Trivia Night, an actual play podcast of Call of Cthulhu with the adventure Scritch Scratch. There we go. That's my intro there, guys. See, I didn't even practice that shit.
That was great.
That's so good.
But before we do that, we have some business to take care of. We would not be a Twin Peaks actual play podcast without our official Twin Peaks trivia. Now, I have some softballs tonight just because I'm not Art.
Nice.
But we'll start with, do you know what the original name of Twin Peaks was?
No, I have no. Well, I guess we're gonna make guesses. But Patrick, if you want to make, I don't know if you know or not.
My Knockers. That's my guess.
Mine's gonna be R.
So I should preface this with I did not fact check these. These are from the internet.
No, good.
But I assure you, as a Twin Peaks aficionado, and Art is basically David Lynch's roommate, from what I gathered.
That's the story.
Northwest Passage, and was supposed to take place in North Dakota.
Wow.
Yes, I have heard that before. Yeah, I did not obviously remember it, but yes, Northwest Passage.
Now, I wonder why they didn't place it in North Dakota. Was it because there weren't enough trees for Coop to talk about in the first episode? I don't know.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I don't know. Maybe just the filming location worked out. I mean, they didn't continuously film in Washington because of budget reasons, but what's great about, and I did this a couple of years ago, is you can do a tour of the Twin Peaks of the outside shot of the lodge, and you can go to the original Double R Diner, but a lot of that stuff was filmed in LA eventually. So I don't know if they just saw the Great Northern and we're just whoa, this has to be it. But I don't know why they moved. Or I don't know why they changed the name. I know why they moved. They moved because of budget.
Yeah.
Okay. So the famous shot of the Twin Peaks population sign, right?
Mm-hmm.
Says 52,501. Do you know the real population in Twin Peaks? Not in real life, but in the show.
52,501. Is it? I'm pulling a number out of my ass. Is it 52,480?
No. Way lower.
31,000. I should stop guessing.
No. Patrick, anything?
12,000.
No, so it's 5,250. A much smaller population, but ABC wanted the population to look bigger, so David Lynch put a 1 on the sign.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it's man, yeah. I was about to ABC at some point. Maybe one of our questions. Do you guys? I don't know if you guys have you ever read about how there was ABC and David Lynch sort of butting heads and stuff, and some of the decisions that came from that.
I have not read that. It's not surprising to me, just because of how the show shook out. like
right.
wondering, are you going to be canceled? So then you got to rush things. Then you got to drag things out through season 2, and then you're ended up getting canceled. So then you got to wrap it up.
Yeah. And maybe one I'll make it one of the trivia questions that sort of hints at some of the behind the scenes drama. If I can remember, I don't remember much these days, but anyway, yeah, I forgot about that. They wanted it bigger so that he just tagged a 1. I have read that. There's a really good book. Well, it doesn't matter. Luckily, I don't remember reading
it.
it.
You can't tease that.
It absolutely
it's a really
matters.
good book. It's called All Quiet on the Western Front.
Oh, nice.
No, but there's
nice.
there's like a main book. There's like 2 Twin Peaks books. One is like The Secret Diary of
Laura Palmer.
Right. And which I actually didn't love.
Sure. Well, there's the Dale Cooper book, but that one's really hard to find, I think.
Yeah, there's the Twin Peaks: The Final Dossier, and then I think there's The Secret History of Twin Peaks by Mark Frost.
I have that one, and I actually never read it because I just heard it was kind of so.
It was interesting. I didn't get all the way through, but it was interesting here and there. But
all right, I have one more softball for you.
Okay.
Little one. What star of Father of the Bride directed an episode of Twin Peaks?
Oh shit! Are you talking about like the remake with Steve Martin? Because there was, I think that's a remake. Are you talking about
the Steve Martin one? Is
I believe it's a remake.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm talking about the Steve Martin one.
Let me see. Is that a remake? I feel like 1950. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So which actor in that film directed an episode of Twin Peaks?
There were several guest. Well, I don't know about guest ones, but obviously David Frost, Mark Lynch get some credit. But there was episode 15 had a guest director, and it's a weird episode.
Patrick, I think I know. So if you want to throw a guess out there.
No, go ahead. I don't think I've made it that far yet.
I think it was Diane Keaton.
It was.
Yeah.
Season 2, episode 15. Are you that far yet, Patrick?
I am not. I'm close. I think I'm on 10. Okay. 8 or 10. I don't know. It's been about 2 weeks since I watched an episode, so I need to get back on the train.
Did you guys know, like, I don't know, Patrick, I don't know why you know that. Matt, did you know that Mulholland Drive was supposed to be a television show?
I did not.
Yeah, I think that's part of the problem with it is I think it was intended to be the pilot of the next like Twin Peaks, and then it didn't get picked up. So he's like, screw it. Like what he did with the Twin Peaks pilot in Europe, he turned it into a film.
Yes.
And then added some rated R stuff.
And revealed the killer.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, in Mulholland Drive, he added the rated R stuff. I guess I don't know what he added. I have seen it. It's like, is it mostly just tagged on at the end?
Yeah, I think that's the big deal with the European one, right? Is that it shows the killer,
right,
and kind of ties them in. Although there was like stories of like secret scripts for finally revealing the killer in the U.S. stuff. So I don't really know how all that worked out. You might know better than me, but
I don't know. Anyway, I forgot. Do you know, did Diane Keaton only do one, or did she have a couple under her belt?
I believe she only did one.
Okay, yeah, I remember seeing that. And then going,
I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of opportunity.
That's true.
Right? Like,
I gotta ask, was episode 15 like one of the bad ones?
No, I think it's one of the good ones.
Good. Oh, that's good to hear.
Nice. I'd have to go like find a synopsis of that episode.
Quick aside that is sort of tangentially related. Have you guys ever watched Veronica Mars?
Yes.
I've heard it's good.
It's very good.
It's very good. And the first season, like sometimes I'm watching and I'm like, there has to be some inspiration from Twin Peaks here and there. It's not weird the way, the way Twin Peaks is, but like, it's the same kind of idea where it's like this town that seems picturesque on the outside and is just covered in secrets and rot on the underside. And it's really good. And it's maybe a little bit more focused and a little bit more like, palatable for like a typical audience viewer. But I'm rewatching it. We're sort of introducing different shows around here, and that one, we were sort of burning through because my son didn't have a ton of interest. My daughter did. So we're sort of burning through it while,
How did
what's that?
Kristen Bell is the main character in that show, and your son didn't have any interest in it?
No, no, not, no, because he's in
youth.
Right. Well, he's in high school, so I think it might be a little too on the
right.
nose.
That's fair.
He's like, oh shit, I deal with this every day.
Anyway.
Yeah. If you haven't checked it out, Matt, it's not the worst thing to give a binge.
Yeah. I think it's all right. I will. So I did some while you were talking about it. I did some looking. I think it's Wanda Merle's involved in that episode.
Those usually good.
And I think it's also the Civil War episode.
That's a pretty good one.
yeah, that's what sticks out from that episode to me. Other than I think there's some other lots of little side plots going on, but the big standout is the Civil War stuff.
I need to. I don't know how I would do it, but I need to rewatch that whole series again.
Just do it.
Front of my mind. Yeah.
What's the legality behind doing watch and I know we couldn't, but stream it up here and give our reactions, or because I know we can't do that. If you ever listen to iFanboy, which is pretty, they do Godfather Minute, and they go minute by minute of The Godfather, and they released a podcast episode. They'd watch a minute, do a podcast episode. I'm sure they watched it differently, but now I was like, oh, that'd be sweet, Twin Peaks minute by minute. But there's a big difference between The Godfather and then 31 episodes of Twin Peaks. And then
I know there's a couple of things like I have. I don't know if this is street cred or shame, but I have listened to rewatch podcasts about Twin Peaks. And, they would just watch it and then recap it and then go into it. And then there's other websites that I listen to or used to listen to, I guess. And what they do is they would have and I think this is what Mystery Science Theater does now, where they basically say at the beep, this is this part of the movie, and then we comment over it. And I think there's ways to do that, but
yeah, you can get riff tracks, and that's how
riff tracks,
before Mystery Science Theater came back. That's how you could do riff tracks.
Right.
But this is really getting now we're kind of blending into Gossip Daddy's territory. And since we never figured out that format, maybe we're onto something. At worst, we could do Firewalk with Me minute.
We could.
Yeah, because that's just a self-contained movie. Yeah.
Well, which is going to lead into.
Well, it's not self-contained. No, it's not at all.
We're going to end up doing the whole series, and then find then we got to do X-Files because that's in the same universe. Right?
Yeah,
so
and then
have to.
Yeah, and honestly, if we end up, Patrick's like, oh my god, I need to get off this crashing train.
No, I'm enjoying this.
I am here for a Gossip Daddies of Twin Peaks or Gossip Girl.
Yes.
Or Riverdale or whatever. Yeah,
I've got it. Oh, Riverdale would be good just because that show has such teen Twin Peaks vibes. It's like Twin Peaks, but James Hurley has his shirt off in every possible shot that he can.
So good.
Would that move the numbers? Hold on. Are you sending me?
You need the slow mo. You need the dramatic mood lighting, but you do one of them.
Yeah,
we do Twin Peaks minute. We do Gossip Daddy's Twin Peaks, and then we give our Gossip Girls and Riverdale trivia to start every episode. And delay 15 minutes before we get to the actual content, because that's what everyone loves.
Yeah, well, I mean, everybody loves garbage time, right? That's the best part.
I gotta tell you, it's my least favorite part of every podcast is when they don't start the freaking show.
Okay, well, we ran that off the tracks as soon as we started with deviated septums at the beginning.
True, that's fair. And talking about Twin Peaks isn't off the tracks. Let's be honest, that's part of our show.
It's the name of the show.
All right, well, let's start officially now. We're very serious now.
Season 1, episode 1. All right, let's do some Call of Cthulhu.
So, well, hold on. We have to do the podcast thing, guys. I'm sorry, but it's a requirement. We're 3 middle-ish aged people, and we have to do this. So
I'm not drinking anything.
Okay, and Art, you've
already seen it.
Yeah, you have your glamour shot of the Justice Tea. Very nice. and I've got some Papa Pilar's rum tonight.
Very
Nice.
nice.
It's good stuff.
It's very tasty. So
That's what's his name's, right? That's
no idea.
That's the author's rum.
Is it
Hemingway or something, right?
I have
Diane
again.
Keaton. Is it Hemingway? Does
Is it?
Yeah, Hemingway was Papa Pilar.
Well, there you go. I've got my bathrobe on. I've got my, I've got my Papa Pilar. I'm ready to rock and roll. Let's,
All right, let's do this. And if you have a show suggestion for Twin Peaks Daddies or something along those lines, like a title idea, I'd love to hear it because Gossip Daddies was just so good. But I just don't think we're equipped to do Gossip Girls.
Yeah.
I mean, we could go the opposite direction and do something with like Friday Night Lights. That's been around long enough that we can do, I don't know.
Texas forever.
Texas forever, man. It's almost football season, guys. We're almost there.
That's right.
All right. Well,
all right, let's do some Call of Cthulhu.
It's 16 minutes in, so we should probably do we recap or do we just tell people to go watch the first episode? Do you guys need a recap?
No, let's get into it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
it's not months between our plays, so we're right on top
weeks.
of it. Yeah,
it's great.
Getting my books down.
So, if I remember correctly, it was Shirley. You had just turned the corner in the cottage that is suspiciously clean, but just reeks of disgustingness. And you'd seen a pair of beady red eyes dart across the floor before disappearing into another room. I believe that's where we at. Paul is retching outside somewhere. Tom is oh god, somewhere out in the background. Amanda's probably still on her BlackBerry somewhere. And what's Simon doing during all of this?
So I think, if I remember correctly, we had just talked about. Did we just talk about like the bearskin rug, or were we talking about the hoarding in the room that, and like what you do when you encounter a hoarder?
There was a little bit of talking about what to like. You guys hadn't entered the hoarding room, like you couldn't get into it.
Mm-hmm.
It was there was papers blocking the door, and you guys just couldn't shove the crap out of the way. Then you had done a little bit of segment on, well, here's how you clean. Don't use that cleaner. Use this cleaner.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah, and I think you guys were still trying to find the location or the source of this just god awful smell.
Got it. And okay, and we had gone left down the hallway and we're checking out.
You somewhere over
some
this
of those
direction.
rooms. Okay.
Yep. Or you had checked out both of those rooms and were coming. I think you had turned around and were looking back this way. Kind of.
Okay.
Thing.
Well, there's one thing clear. I definitely did not need a recap.
Okay, good.
Well, apparently I didn't remember anything.
So glad we had that moment.
Yeah,
good.
I mean we're here. We made it. We did. It was a pseudo back.
All right.
So Shirley, what would you like to do? You've just seen some beady eyes. You guys are looking around.
Shirley screams, even like with the camera rolling. Like whatever it was, nope, she doesn't like it. Like she can deal with mess, she can deal with cleaning, but anything that's live and scampers across the floor, nope.
Okay.
And
All
so
right.
she just screams.
Okay. And maybe this is part of what Simon's here for, is like, I'll get the shovel. He's like, he'll try and like, he's not quite so taken aback by live creatures. So he maybe, but of course, because he's Simon, he's going to start like trying to catch it. And it's going to escape. And then like, it's going to get really awkward really fast.
I think give me a spot hidden to try and catch this rat real quick.
Okay. How about I roll just about as badly as humanly? I rolled a 99 versus a 65.
Yeah, no, you definitely are bouncing into walls. You are, like you've put a hole in the wall, actually.
Ooh, okay.
Somewhere down here, like the drywall is cracked at this point. And Tom is snickering behind the camera as he's panning, and he's like, right, that's the good stuff. That's what the viewers want from Simon.
And luckily Ellie's not right behind me. God damn it.
Oh, she's got the boom right behind you.
Yeah.
And she's like trying to play it cool, but she's definitely hiding a smile. And somehow she's found like she's got cotton balls or something shoved up in her nose. So
Mm.
it's just really strange that she's procured some cotton balls and has them shoved up her nose. So, yeah, no, the rat escapes, and now there's a hole in the wall that you're definitely going to have to fix.
But now that I've accidentally punched a hole in the wall, are we able to sort of get a sense like Marco Polo, the odor? Is it kind of like, whoa, it's way stronger on this end of the hallway, or is it just permeating the whole house? Pretty.
Give me. Let's see. I have my book over here this time.
So yeah,
it's a little bit easier. Yeah. I mean, look, that's called success. Wouldn't be a listen. Give me. I don't know why this is making me feel this. Give me a natural world roll.
Sure.
I'm just feeling that.
I rolled a 90 versus a 10, so failure.
Nope, it just stinks to high heavens in this house.
Okay. I kind of, just on a hunch, maybe I sort of like stick my camera phone with the light into the hole in the wall. Like, is there something in the wall that's smelling, or?
Not as far as you can tell. I mean, and I'm going to show off how much I need to go back and watch This Old House so I can actually know what's inside walls. Old walls, anyway. I assume that there's some. I mean, I know that there's going to be some insulation, but it's old insulation, if that makes sense. Like this house has been. Yeah, no, you're breathing asbestos. Give me a good 1d6 damage. No, the insulation. I mean, it looks old. It's like turning to dust in your hands as you touch it. It's got those weird slat things that you see in like 1920s houses instead of just studs. And my dad is cringing somewhere. And yeah, so but it as far as you can tell, Simon, it looks pretty normal, pretty clean actually for a house that's 100 years old, 200 years old.
All right. Yeah, in that case, I probably turn to Auntie and sort of probably turn to Shirley and sort of have a sheepish kind of look, because I know that either that hole in the wall is coming out of our pay or coming out of my pay, or it's coming out of somewhere, and I'm a little embarrassed about that.
Shirley like comes around the corner and she's straightening her hair and she's smoothing her shirt out and stuff, and then she like turns and looks and like, well, that's certainly out of place.
Tom is zooming in on your face for the reaction on the wall right now.
Well, I think she's just caught off guard by it, and
okay.
Then she looks at Simon and like maybe sees plaster on him and stuff. Like,
yeah, she knows. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, let's see how much damage we can do and see what's in some of these other rooms. It's again, we'll definitely make our feather dusters quite busy in this charming cottage. Like, assuming we're coming back from commercial break. Is what I had in mind, and that's why I said that. Okay, so she starts opening doors.
Yeah, Tom is giving you he's giving you a thumbs up. He's like, right, this excellent B-roll footage, love. I don't know why he's a dunce all of a sudden, but we're just gonna keep changing his accent.
Nice.
All right, you going into? Did you say you were going into a doormat?
Yeah. So she'll just proceed into the next door.
Okay, like this one.
No, probably not. Sorry, not to make it complicated on you. Probably like this one here.
Okay, that works. Let me pop that open.
She kind of like scattered down the hallway and turned to the corner when she saw whatever it was, and she's just collecting herself to like that one's right in front of her. She's going for it.
Gotcha. That works. So that room, as you open it, you find. Probably, of all of the rooms you've gone into, this is probably the most outdated room. It is the kitchen. It is, once again, very clean, but it is old. So you've seen a room. This room up in the upper right corner was like a 70s kind of room. It had a radio in it and everything. The kitchen, like it's a cast iron oven, stovetop, contraption. Very 30s looking range. It's got an ice box instead of a refrigerator.
Wow.
There's, wood stacked up in a corner, a pair of old shoes. And, other than that, the Like, there's no vegetables or anything rotting on the counters. It's just, it's pretty clean looking, but it's just old, outdated.
Well, I do say, folks, one of the thrills of the working in conditions like this is finding absolutely stunning antiques like we have here. This cast iron range is immaculate, and this icebox, I bet this cools his eggs just as well as that refrigerator you have at home. Let's check out what else is in store.
All right. Are you open it? Are you going to open anything in here?
Yeah, there's a door in there. She'll open the one in the kind of the back.
Okay.
Back here.
I got you. I got to find my tool. Of course, everybody loves it when I lose my tool. Don't say anything. There it is. Oh my god, I feel dumb. So this room, as you open it up, is a pantry.
Sure.
And everything you see inside, again, very clean. Nothing rotting, no mold, no nothing like that. Still a smell. One thing you notice in this room as you open it, there's a lot of canned food, and a lot of the cans look pretty old.
That was something I was just about to ask. Like, as Simon looks around, I know the person I think you mentioned last time was it in the hospital for a few months or something?
A couple of weeks.
Couple weeks. Okay. But does this house look like it was lived in 3 weeks ago before the guy went in the hospital? Like, you're sort of mentioning a lot of things where, like, does anybody actually live here? Like, did somebody throw the milk out? Did somebody...
I think it feels like certain parts of the house are lived in.
Okay.
Like the front parlor or the front sitting room, the formal sitting room, there's definitely like one path that's been treaded, like to one seat in the room. Like you could tell just by the wearing of the carpet or whatever. The one room that you've been in, the one bedroom you've been in, doesn't look like it's been touched in years, honestly. The kitchen, again, there's probably like a path of, it's clean, but there's the tiles are worn slightly down, in, a path from the back door that leads outside to, the water pail and then back to the hallway.
Okay.
Pantry, pretty dated looking, pretty unused. I mean, maybe there's one corner of the pantry where like things are, there's not, things have been replaced there, but like the farther back you go in the pantry, the older they get. Like you're starting to even see cans with like yellowing labels that are hard to read. Stuff that looks like it could even be war rations. Like we're talking that old. Like this is stuff that's been in the house for 60, 70 years.
Look, Simon, Unifood.
Oh, Auntie, again, that reminds me, once we're done, I gotta talk to you.
Well, this space could certainly use a woman's touch, a little updating. Again, we don't want to. We're not going to change anything, do any restructuring, but I bet we could do some tidying up and maybe bring in some fresh groceries. Let's go across the hall and see what's in the next room.
Okay. So this is one of the rooms, and I will say, take a step back. This is the direction that you think the eyes darted in. Into this room here. So if you are popping it open, it looks like this. And again, this map is not great, so I don't know why I'm taking all this effort to open the rooms. But here it is. So this room, this looks like the most lived in room so far that you've seen. This is a bedroom, and there's used clothes on the floor. Again, they're folded. They're just on the floor, next to the hamper or whatever. The bed is obviously used. Maybe it needs a making, but nothing crazy, nothing out of the ordinary. Just slightly lived in, disheveled room. Right? There's stuff from this century in there. as opposed to some of the other rooms you've been in. And yeah.
She looks around the room and, well, this will certainly be one of the areas where we focus our attention, but certainly not the worst thing we've handled.
Mm-hmm.
So this out in the hallway, is that a door up to an attic? Is that what that?
Yes, there is. That is an attic, like a pull-down door.
Okay. Is there anything like down to a cellar?
There is not.
Okay. So what's this last door in the middle of the room? Is that like a bathroom?
It is, yes. And I'll just go ahead and reveal that. Maybe Tom's gone off that way to reveal. We'll just do a square there. Okay. Yeah, so that's a bathroom. Again, outdated. Maybe not quite as 30s. Maybe it's a 50, 60 bathroom. Blue tile everywhere, like just a really strange retro color. Olive green appliances in there or whatever. And it's clean. There's not even a ring in the toilet. Like it's pretty clean.
Well, Simon, why don't you scamper up to the attic and see what we're dealing with?
And Simon kind of goes, because whenever it's like, somebody has to go in that crawl space. Somebody needs to. It's always, Simon, why don't you? And so I sort of knew that was coming. And
we get out the special camera, and it's like the Simon Says segment, which is like you hate the name of. And it's like, that's right, folks.
Right.
It's time for Simon Says, where he gets down in the nitty gritty. Off with you, Simon.
And if this is okay, if this is within the budget of this kind of show, like maybe it's what's the name of the show again?
Where There's Muck.
So maybe Auntie has sort of gotten a few like Where There's Muck baseball caps, and so it's got that, and then there's like a GoPro on it, and I'm like, here we go, and I start crawling up, and so, and GoPros, they can have like these light attachments, so I sort of have this big stupid rig on my head, with a GoPro with a light on its clamp, and I start climbing up the thing, and I'm trying to remember like, okay, now because this is the internet, you got to narrate what you're doing, like. And so I'm like, well, here I go. I'm climbing up into the attic. Let's take a look. And I'm just sort of making nonsense small talk while I make my way up.
So as to get the light rig, the person that's handing it to you, Ellie, hands you this ridiculous baseball hat. And she's obviously got a twinkle in her eye that she is just she finds this hilarious that you have to deal with this every single time you're on the show.
Yes.
And she hands it to you, and it's yeah. So, as you open the attic hatch there, Mr. Simon, the first bit of filth that you've seen in this house hits you, and it's just this cloud of dust just smacks you in the face. Yeah, and that's what you hit. So, heading up, or are you gonna get the shop back out and clean up that dust real quick?
I sort of, if there's anybody behind me, I don't know if it's Ellie or my aunt or someone, I just turn and say, how the lens, is it covered?
Ellie looks at you and she bats it off a little bit and she pats you on the shoulder. She says, "You're good to go."
Okay. Actually, who's the camera guy?
Tom.
Tom would have a little puffer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he sort of blows the camera. He's like, "Okay, you're good to go, lad." And I say, "Okay," and I start heading back up.
Okay. So as you go up, you see you've got this camera rig. Roll me a luck.
All right. I am very bad at that. 77 on a 20, fail.
The headlamps start to flicker as you go up into the attic. And then they fail.
Okay.
So you've got your head and shoulders propped up into the attic. And your headlamp has died.
Okay. So again, I tried taking my phone out, and trying to use that for a light.
Okay, that we'll say it works, but it's a much dimmer light than she's got some 6,000 lumen headlamps or whatever that are just super dorky. But your phone light works.
Okay.
And as you look around up there, it's just a shadowy attic. You see kind of on the far sides of the room, there's a couple of trunks farther back in the attic. And yeah, couple of trunks, couple of folded parcels, maybe some books stacked up, and yeah, roll me a spot hidden.
Fail. Oh, you know what? I'm going to spend a luck. I rolled a 66 on a 65. I'm going to spend 1 luck point to make that a
perfect
success.
A pass.
Yeah.
Okay. So it scares you for just like a second as you're panning your camera phone around. You see like 2 glinting eyes, but you take a second, you jump for just a second, but it's like teddy bear. It's a teddy bear, and its button eyes are shining as you pass the camera around, and it gives you just a brief little spook.
All right.
Yeah, but there's a lot of dust up there.
Okay. So I sort of relay that back to Shirley, like, hey, Shirley, we're dealing with your typical attic. We got some storage, a lot of dirt. I mean, a lot of dust, but nothing too out of the ordinary.
Did the smell get any stronger when we opened the attic?
Not discernibly. It's still up there, but it's not discernibly worse.
Well, folks, I am seriously flummoxed. The only thing I can think of now is perhaps we take a stroll in the backyard and maybe try to get a better look in that room, because that's the only place, folks, that I can puzzle out this horrendous smell. So, Simon, when you're done, we're heading out back into the garden.
Yes, Auntie. Because there's a window, right? Sort of.
Well, she's going to see if there's a window to the... well, I guess what she's thinking is she wants to check out the back garden through what I assume is the back door here in the kitchen.
Yep.
And then loop around and see if there's a window into the overfilled room. And also just, take a look around in the back side of the house and get some shots of that.
Okay. I will tell you what. I am just going to go ahead and reveal the whole area real quick so that you can do whatever exploring you want to do.
Sure.
So there's the rest of the space.
Oh, okay. That doesn't quite shake out. So there's a window in the front, it looks like.
There is, yeah.
And then there's a vegetable patch and a courtyard. The courtyard, as she goes out front, the building she sees to what is the east, is that his house or is that the neighbor? Is that the rat catcher's house or the neighbor's house?
You talking about down here?
Yeah.
So that is it's like a shed. It's a rather large shed. Yeah, I know. But it is all on his property.
Okay. So let's start with the front window. Hey, Simon, nothing in the back. So we're going to peek in the front and then maybe see if the smell is permeating from the shed, which is hard to believe.
Sounds good, Auntie. Yeah, and I sort of follow her.
Give me, Simon, give me a dex roll while you're up in the attic. Or coming down from the attic.
Jeez, Art.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
83 on a 70.
Yeah, no, your foot
can push it. You can push it.
Oh, right. You can. Right. I forgot about that. Do I just re-roll again and you have to tell me what the consequences are going to be if I fail?
Essentially, yeah.
And do I re-roll with a penalty bonus or is it just a straight roll?
Straight re-roll.
Okay. So yes, I am going to push it. Or do you tell me the consequences before?
I think I tell you the consequences beforehand. Which
okay.
Pretty standard with an attic. We've all been there. I just had to do this myself. If you fail this, you're gonna go through the ceiling.
You're gonna Christmas vacation it?
Yeah.
Well, but that literally happened to you, right, Patrick?
It did.
You fell to the attic?
One of my feet did. Yeah, it was great.
I kind of remember the picture, the hole in your ceiling.
Yeah, that was your foot.
That was my
right.
foot. It was about 3 seconds before that. My wife said, "Don't you dare go out off of the joists," and I said, "No, it'll be fine. I'm just adjusting my." Yeah, and then right through. She was
Clark Griswold here.
She was very angry, and it was great.
Nice. Perfect. All right. Here's my pushed roll.
Okay.
Success. 57 against a 70. Finally.
So you gracefully, maybe you lose your balance for just a second, but you grab a hold of a joist instead of planting a foot through your drywalled ceiling. and you make it down and scurry outside.
Nice.
All right. So you
Scratch,
guys are
what do we see in the front window to the dirty room, the locked room, the
all
hoarding room?
right. Let me pull up. I'm going to pull up the full description so that you can see it. I'm not going to give it. Okay. So in that room, as far as you can see, that window is filthy. As far as you can see. So besides the window being gross, and it looks like it's mostly outside grossness, there are stacks of books and scrapbooks. There are, on a table, you can kind of make out a bunch of like old glue pots and maybe some, like a couple of brushes, bunch of newspapers laid out on the table, stacks of newspapers on the table. And give me a. I'm gonna wear out this this spot hidden, but we're gonna go ahead and go for it. Go ahead and give me a spot hidden. Yeah, you can't. You can. The window's really grimy. You can't make out through the glass here. Maybe not. Maybe grimy is the wrong word. It's just old. It's kind of fogged up. I'm not gonna say because the house is clean. I'm gonna say that it's foggy with age.
Well, folks, these are extreme circumstances, and I don't normally recommend this. But if you'll bear with me with just 1 second, she's gonna try to open the window from
Okay.
the outside somehow.
All right. You got any skill that you'd like to try and use for that?
Yeah. Let's look at my character sheet here. Like usually.
Like I'd take a locksmith or mechanical
Yeah.
repair.
Mechanical repair is probably the better one, but what
maybe a
about
sleight of hand?
I was gonna say sleight of hand is maybe.
I would want you explain to me how Shirley has sleight of hand and how she uses this. If you do want to use sleight of hand.
Yeah, so it's not a lock pick. She's not picking a lock, but it's an old style window that, if shaken enough, the latch will like pop up and off and allow him to swing out or in.
Okay.
And you can't like shake them too hard or you'll damage them, but like if you shake it enough. No.
Yeah.
Which
so
I used to be better at this.
yeah.
Well,
you definitely pop a window pane out.
Oh, well, that
with
makes
that.
it easy. So then she reaches in and try to like unlatch it.
Yeah, that works.
Okay, so now that she can open the window, what is she like? What anything new reveal itself?
You can see. I'll say that you can see the books clearer. Every single book that is in that room, and there are a ton. They are all about rats, mice, rat catching, like the Encyclopedia of Mice.
Makes sense.
Ripley's Believe It or Not Rats edition.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. And there is a painting on the wall. And it is, let me see if I got a clip I can take. I don't know. If I do, bear with me. This is where everybody loves to listen to me find a thing that I knew I should have taken a picture of earlier. It just looks like an old man. Looks like a really old man, but there's lots of greens and browns. It's a forest setting. Doesn't look like anybody in any of the other pictures in the house. We'll leave it at that.
Okay, did we see any pictures of who we assume to be the owner of the house, the rat catcher, or is this the first time we've seen like an adult male?
No, I will say that throughout the house you've seen pictures of
who we assume to be the owner.
Correct. Or his family.
Okay, but this guy is different.
Yeah, it looks like a really old painting. It looks like it's,
So my family had this painting of this old lady that hung up in my mom's house, and this isn't a joke, like my entire life. And I just assumed it was a family relative, and like I was like, I thought that was Grandma so and so, and they're like, no. And then like my sister talks about like how the painting creeps her out. Like, it's this old lady, she's all wrinkly, and she's got a bonnet, and it covers her eyes, so you only see half of her face. It's super creepy now that, like, I know it's not a relative. It's like, why was that on a prominent display in our house for 18 years? Like, longer than that. I mean, until she moved, she saw it in her new house, but, like, it was above the fireplace. It was like a central piece. Anyways, I just had to, like, share that because that's what I'm thinking of now.
That's fucking horrifying. Just
when you
FYI.
kind of think of it, it's a little weird.
So here is a similar. This is similar to what it looks like. I figured out that I actually did make something. Can you guys see that? I hit show to players. How about again? Is it not showing to players? Okay. Let me just put this in all players and all players. All right, so let's try that again.
There we go.
Oh.
So that's the kind of face, but in a painting that you're seeing.
Okay.
So lots of nature symbolism, lots of leaves, green, browns, lovely forest setting, etc., etc.
Well, Shirley uses this to transition, and, well, we can clearly see that the owners of the house were interested and in tune and in touch with nature, which is a great reminder and segue into that if you're looking for a little tidier kitchen, that we highly recommend a composting bin. And we have our sponsor, and she plugs like the compost bin sponsor, which is a great time to head on back over to the vegetable patch where I think I saw a compost pile.
Love it.
And so before, as like they start to move over there, like she sticks her head in and takes a deep breath. Is the smell worse in the clutter room, or is it the same?
It is the same.
Okay. So she's, she makes the comment like, this will be the center of our attention for now, but like, not that, I don't know, like this is her profession. So now she's like really kind of getting annoyed that she hasn't found what is the smell.
Okay. Makes sense. Simon, what are you doing during this?
Well, I was sort of looking over Aunt Shirley's shoulder because I was curious because I'm the one who stuck my phone in the room and saw everything in there. But after a little while, like I kind of just sort of start wandering a little bit, and maybe I just sort of start wandering over to the gate. And now this hedge and this gate, is it tall or can I see over it?
No, it's 3 feet, 4 feet high.
Okay, so I probably just sort of lean on the gate and just sort of look around and sort of give a visual inspection of the vegetable patch and compost. I'm just sort of looking. Is the smell stronger by the compost pile?
No, it is similar.
Okay. So I'm just sort of and I'm just sort of noticing, is anything in the compost? Is there like recent vegetables you could still see disintegrating, or
a body?
Is there a finger sticking out? Yeah.
Give me a biology or a chemistry roll. I know you've got one of those or something similar to that.
I do, and I remember because last time I was an idiot with my character sheet. And let me see. Chemistry.
Perfect.
So let's see how I do. Oh my god. 69 on a 50.
Wow.
Failure.
Wow. Yeah, no, those definitely look like carrots and potatoes.
Okay. Just statistically speaking, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That was our 10th roll. We've had one success tonight. So anyway.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure the one success was Matt's. No.
We had, and I actually, that's not true. We had 2 because I paid for a success.
Yeah.
But we still failed.
But I still failed. Yeah.
We haven't rolled below 54.
Yeah. It checks out. It's all good. This is what we play games for, right?
All right.
Much to the chagrin of Tom, or maybe he doesn't even care. Shirley just starts like doing quick overviews, and she pokes in and takes a deep breath, gags, and then if it's not the source of the smell, that is her primary focus right now, is finding the smell. It's like, do any of these, as she does that, and I'm welcome, she'll go dive into them if there's something interesting that catches her eye, but she's doing like a very quick and here is the machine shed, and she pokes her head in.
Sure.
And next door we have the
So That being said, I'll just give you a quick rundown of the rooms. There are two that kind of catch your interest.
Okay.
And that is this room in the far corner is okay. There's three that catch your interest. This room in the far corner is just a room full of chemicals. None of them are labeled, but they're all brown. Like you'd see in a 50s, 60s movie where it's brown with a skull and crossbones. And all half filled with green or black liquids. I mean, it's all tidy. It's all
pee bottles.
Exactly, pee bottles. Yeah.
MMO player.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I could just turn my camera. No, you know what? I'm gonna leave my camera. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. It's gross, but it's that room has a slightly different smell. It still reeks, but that is a super chemical. Like it just feels toxic as soon as you open the room.
Can I don't know if you know this, but I've got the chemistry skill that I just failed at. Can I roll and like see if I recognize like, oh, that's sulfur or
Sure.
Oh my Lanta.
Rolled a 78 against a 50. So I'm just sort of like huffing paint at this point and losing consciousness.
Simon,
Shirley's like, Simon, do you know what you're doing?
This is
Ellie.
This must be the paint shed.
Ellie like pulls you out of the room. She's like, you need to take a step back from that room. Okay, dude. Okay, bruv.
Anything to get the smell of what we're smelling out of our nostrils. So like then we're all huffing the chemicals like fresh air, but it's like burnt. Like
it's pure ethanol, and you're just yeah. No, it's good. So that's in the corner, and then in this room is not super interesting. But it does have like normal gardening stuff in it, like ropes, shovels, duct tape, chloroform. Normal gardening stuff. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
It's ropes, shovels, gardening tools.
Got it.
And then this room, the long one, is also kind of weird.
Okay.
Surely.
So if she pops into him, then she's like, let's take a closer look in this main room.
Okay. As you enter that room, I will say there's a lot of stuff, a lot of metal hanging from the rafters, and like half-made tools, half-made rat traps, that kind of thing. Give me
It's like that Geico commercial where all the teens hide like under the saws and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, that's kind of what it feels like, honestly.
Yeah.
Give me a luck roll.
Okay. You'd think I'd leave my character sheet open.
Ooh, that's pretty close.
My
Do you
God.
Can you spend luck to? You can't.
I don't
right?
think you can.
You cannot.
You can't push, and I don't think you can spin.
That is correct. So, as you poke your head in there, I need to... Yeah, you're going to take 2 points of damage. As you open that room, you step on a mousetrap. It's not like your average, normal snap mousetrap.
It's a rat trap?
It's some kind of horrible conglomeration of rusty metal and, like a garden hoe is... like clamps down on your boot.
Oh, blimey! Oh, tetanus, son of a! And then she like realizes what it is again, hating rats, and she's just like, "Get it off! Get it! Paul!"
Paul comes running over, and he's, what's wrong, love? What's wrong? And he looks down. He's like, oh, it's bleeding. He starts vomiting over in the corner. And Tom comes over, and he's like, "All right, love, just hold still. Give me your boot." And just chink.
So enough to like go through the boot.
Just
because she's wearing work boots, right? Like, and not that she like actually wears them, but like it's the ensemble, right? So she's wearing her
yellow rubbers.
Her wellies. Okay, yeah, she's wearing wellies. That's what I said. Yeah, so she doesn't have like. On.
Yeah, this thing is mean looking. Like, it's a really aggressive. Like, this is not. PETA would definitely cancel whoever made this trap. So yeah, it's in your foot a little bit.
So she starts to tear up a little bit, and she composes herself, and she like, Tom, roll. And then she's like, folks, sometimes there are unexpected dangers that we come across in this line of work. And it's just a reminder that we are never safe on a work site like this, no matter how clean the house is.
Yeah. Tom looks at you and like raises an eyebrow and looks down, and there's clearly blood coming out of your boot at this point.
Go ahead, Tom. Go ahead and show him.
He zooms in and he's like, "Well, that just gave us a PG-13 rating."
Blimey.
Yeah, no, it's an intense trap. This guy it takes his job very seriously.
So she has no medicine, but I don't know if anyone's equipped. But if Paul, dear, please, as soon as you're done being my hero in the vomit pile, please go to the van. No, the van's so far away. Before you go to the van, check the bins, get the first aid kit.
So it's at this point that Manda comes up. And Manda's like, "Oh, Christ on a cracker." Like, because she's running the show, supposedly.
No, Amanda, I'm fine. And I know, like, I'm not her worry. I'm fine.
She definitely bristles when you call her Amanda.
Oh.
And yeah, and she's like, "Well, okay, do we need to go, like, we might have to go to the clinic with this." And she's saying this all on camera. Like, we may need to go to the clinic. That looks pretty painful.
No, it'll be fine. I never leave a job unfinished. And I also imagine that Mandy's like main concern is liability.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
It's so nice of you to come over here and check on me. Maybe if you could help with the first aid, I'll be right on my feet in no time.
So, once again, the strangest person to help with this situation, Tom, comes over and he's like, "Right, love, here you go." And he's got like a box of Band-Aids and some like Bactine. Now, you have no idea where he got this Bactine. Like, it's not something that you bring in the bucket. It's just, he's probably had this in his camera bag for God knows how long. Like, it's got the like 80s logo on it. He's like, "Right, here you go. It never goes bad, love."
Yeah, it's in like a mustard yellowing case now.
Exactly. Yeah. And the Band-Aids, like, you pull one out and it like kind of falls apart. You're like, "Oh, great. Thanks,
Yeah.
Tom." So above the table, I actually don't think anybody has medicine and is going to be useful for this situation. Like, I'm looking at everybody. I think everybody has a 1 in medicine.
Yeah, I definitely do. Yeah.
Yeah. So, which is probably fine. I mean, it's not life threatening. You may want to hit up a doctor afterwards. But it is still
sure.
it's still in your foot. So somebody needs to get this thing out of your foot.
Well, I assume Tom's helping me out as he bandages it, and he seems like the most reasonable person to withdraw the trap.
Probably a good choice. So he, just to have some good stuff. Jeez.
God damn it, Tom.
So,
one job.
Tom, for the listeners, Tom rolled a mechanical repair to try and get this out of Shirley's foot and rolled a 69 on a 25. So, this is starting to become an actual, maybe we should stop rolling and go to the doctor. Unless Shirley wants to continue to push through with this thing in her belly.
No, like we'll get it out. Like, just keep. I'm ready, Tom. Like, I just imagine that it's more painful. Like, there's got to be a way to undo it.
Yeah, I think at this point we've drawn this Three Stooges act out enough. I think he gets it out, but it hurts like a motherfucker.
I just imagine like he gets it like pried and then it slams back down. Like, sorry, love, and then like,
oh bollocks.
Yeah, right.
Oh bollocks, sorry. Yeah. And he finally gets it off and like throws it onto the other side of the room and causes a bunch of other traps to
I was gonna say, like, other traps pop off.
Yeah, no, it's definitely time to leave this room. As other, like, there's saw blades flying. Like, this guy was, again, I cannot emphasize enough that this guy was fucking crazy and made some he did not build a better mousetrap. So it's yeah. There's all kinds of really nasty traps going off in this room right now.
What's the smell like?
About the same. About the same.
So none of this smells stronger. Not that I guess that's not Shirley's primary concern right now, but like.
So as you get closer to the back side of the house, because you guys haven't gone back there, it is maybe if you poke your head into this, which is an outside like outhouse right here, like it's just a hole in the ground kind of thing. It's his outside toilet. Maybe as you get close to that, you start to smell stronger smells.
But it's not coming from that house itself.
No, it's coming from the back garden and farther back.
Oh, well, that's outside of our contract.
All right, guys, good adventure.
Wrap it up. Great session, Patrick. We'll get this house tidied up in no time. Pardon the blood. I'll try to stay off the bearskin rug.
And then Simon's getting the GoPro back on because you just assume somebody's going to make him stick his head in the outhouse.
Simon, I think the smell is in the outhouse, and my foot, I can't check. And then she like sheepishly pulls out the Simon Says hat. I think it's time for Simon Says. Please,
like, Auntie. All right. And so, yeah, I put the cap on, and I'm going to go stick my head in the toilet for money. That's where I'm at. That's where Simon's at right now.
It's for beer money, yeah.
Yeah.
And then she says, well, you like start to go, Ellie, make sure you get the mic in over him. I want the reaction.
She looks back. She's like, oh, I'm all up in this right now.
Yeah. So as I'm going back, I imagine maybe I start to notice the smell getting stronger.
Yeah. And
so I stick my head in the toilet. All
right. If I was role playing Tom, I'd have him run up and give you a swirly, understanding that it's an outhouse
and Ellie's getting every and so I'm like, oh, do you have enough? Oh God, do you have enough?
Say, love, is the smell coming from in there?
And I'm like, oh no, it's back here, but unbelievably, this is not the worst smelling part of the house. With my head literally in the toilet. And so I'm like, okay, I can't do it anymore. And I pull my head out and my eyes are watering. And then after a minute, I'm just like, Jesus, Ellie, you smell that, right? Like, it's worse here, right?
She looks and she's like, yeah, it's pretty bad back here. And like you can see like she's like she's got like a tampon hanging out of both noses at this point. Like it's really bad back here.
And so, I figure like I'm 20 years old, right? What do I know? I walk back, like, and Shirley's correct. Like, this is not, but I'm just I'm dying to know what smells so bad, and I'm just a dumb kid. So I sort of make my way through the gate, and
Shirley's like behind him on camera, like trying to improvise and like come up with a reason for this. And so she's like following and bringing everyone along, even though like, and Mandy's probably too busy to care. Paul's still looking for bandages, even though we addressed that, I assume. Yeah. And so she like waves the others to follow. And she's like improvising, like making an excuse for us leaving the house we're supposed to clean, but they're following. But she has no idea what her nephew's doing.
Okay. All right. And are so you're walking into the woods at this point. You're walking down the path. I'm sorry, let me set the table here. So there's a path, and it looks pretty well worn. And it's, there's like planks leading down and going, and it goes quite a distance. Maybe you see a little like shelf structure or something, something like where he puts his hiking boots or something, so he doesn't track mud into the house. And it's a little ways into the woods, and so it goes quite a ways.
Well, you don't want to track mud into the death room. Shirley says as she passes the boots.
Right. So I think what I would do is, I think Simon first, he just sort of hangs out at the back gate and just looks down the path, because it's still daylight out, right?
It's closer to evening at this point.
Oh, okay. So we've been here for a little while. So I imagine then that might make it tricky to sort of see what's down there.
We'll say it's the sun is still up, and it's not quite sunset. Like it's late afternoon. We'll call it late afternoon.
Okay.
So, okay.
Yeah. So I guess the question is, like, is anybody like calling for me immediately? Is anybody, because like if like they're getting more B-roll, or if Angie's just bleeding somewhere, and
No, I think we're all following. Like, we're following your lead, and Shirley's just doing her thing on TV. Like, I can't imagine like you like walking, I don't know, 10 paces in front of us and us like trying to catch up. But like, you turn and probably see us recording footage moving toward you.
You know what? So I think I mentioned in the first session, like, part of why I'm here is I want to tell my Aunt Shirley that I want to drop out of college to become a YouTuber. And so suddenly it hits me like, this would make an awesome video. Like, this is going to launch my channel. And I'm like,
I just get her alone in the woods.
No,
I didn't mean like that. I just, no, that's not. No, stop. I meant.
This podcast is brought to you by OnlyFans
and the FBI.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, and so as soon as I realized that, I turn the GoPro on, and maybe I also get my phone camera, because it's always good to have a backup, and I'm recording into my phone camera, and I'm like, this is Simon Martin, and you're on. And then I realize I don't have a name for my channel, and I'm like, Simon Says, welcome to my YouTube channel. And I've got this great mystery. We're out here in the little village of
Muscovy.
And what's that? Muscovy?
Muscovy.
And there's just this unbelievable stench, and I think we should go see what it is, and I think you should come with me. Let's go. And
It is, as a note, it is way worse back here in the woods. Like, the smell, you thought it was bad at the front door. You thought it was bad with your head down in the fucking chamber pot. No, it's indescribable how awful it is back here in the woods.
All right. And I'm trying to, and I'm going like, and I'm making all sorts of weird noises, and I'm like, and then I turn the camera back on me, and like, you can't believe how bad this smell is. Let me see if I can find something to cover my nose. And then I'm making a big deal out of tying something around my face, if I have something like a handkerchief or a
As you say that, you feel something drop onto your shoulder.
And the cool Simon is not present for this next moment, where he just goes and he's holding his phone on himself, and he just goes like, oh my god, okay, and he just freaks out like, Ellie, get it off, and it's just the most humiliating breakdown. But I'm capturing it all, because I didn't think to stop capturing, because that's what YouTubers do, right?
Yeah, anything for the shot.
Yeah.
And as you're flailing about, you stop for a second. Like, you're flailing about. Ellie's brushing whatever it is off of you, and she's like, "Oh my god, oh my god, Simon, it's a maggot. There are maggots on your shoulder. There are maggots on your shoulder."
And I'm like, you need to get it off.
You
need to get it off right now.
Just so gingerly off of your shoulder.
Dear God in heaven, make sure it's off. Is it off?
It's gone. But then as she brushes it off, you hear another. As like things are falling on the brim of your hat and onto your shoulders and onto her shoulders. And Matt is Shirley in the woods.
Shirley
at this
finally
point?
like limps up and she's been behind him, right? So she didn't hear the YouTube footage or anything like that. And then she's like, Simon, Ellie, you've got white on you. And she reaches up to like brush it off his hat, and then she like smears it, and then she like feels it like writhe a little bit, and she's just like, oh, good gravy.
And it's like a couple fall onto your arm, Shirley.
Gross.
And Tom is there with the camera now, and he slowly tilts the camera up, and you see it's very confusing at first. Somebody both of you give me a spot hidden. Both of you, please.
Here we go. 92 against 65. You're welcome.
Okay.
Oh,
so
look at that.
There you go, Matt. So that's a 6 on a 65. So that's an extreme success. So extreme. So Art, I'm gonna say it just looks like bunting to you, which is very strange to see bunting between trees. But surely you look up and it's ropes tied between each tree, basically as far as you can see. And like it's starting to get dark now, and the camera is just shining on these ropes strung up between trees. And hanging off of all of these ropes are it's hundreds of rats strung up by their tails in various states of decay or rotting. They're writhing with maggots. It's like a skull plops down as like from a
Why
desiccated.
Is it falling?
Because it's like getting liquefied from the
exactly
decay.
So it's as far as the eye can see and as deep into the woods. Like the camera goes and just pans, and every single tree is it's like a spider web of ropes and these rats and mice tied up by their tails, just rotting in the woods as far as the eye can see.
This is inhumane.
I need both of you to give me a sanity roll.
89 against a 40. Failure.
Fail.
All right. And you're both going to lose 6 sanity from that.
Whoops.
So what does that look like as you see this? I mean, this looks like a layer of hell right now. There are so many rats strung up between the trees, and they're writhing with maggots. There's skeletons on the ground. Like it's horrifying. Like along where these ropes are, like you feel them crunching under your boots at this point. There's just rat carcasses everywhere.
Yeah, surely like maybe like one, she hates, like we've talked about, like she hates rats. And like she's done an okay job of like keeping herself composed, even with like obviously she lost it when the rat trap hit and things like that. But like now this like facade of being an actress and like presenting this presentation, like it's all out the window now. And now she's just like herself, and she's just like cursing under her breath, and she's just like mesmerized by it while also being like completely disgusted. It's gross. So Patrick, this is temporary insanity.
Yes.
Okay.
So, all right. What am I missing with that? That sounded like you were telling me I'm missing something. What am I missing?
No, so if you ever lose more than 5 sanity as a result of one roll, then you test their sanity. So we make intelligence rolls. If we fail, we come up. This is one of like the best mechanics of Call of Cthulhu. Like if we fail, we lie to ourselves and we don't comprehend it. If we pass our intelligence, we do. And then we go temporarily insane.
Okay. That was on the next page of the rulebook I was looking at. I had sanity pulled up for just this reason, and it's been a minute. So
yeah, no, that's all right.
So,
it's a cool thing. So we make intelligence rolls.
Yes,
and that's not good because I passed.
Oh yeah, because you want to fail.
You want to fail. Well, I mean, if you want your character to live, you want to fail. If you
We both succeed, so don't mind if I do.
Excellent. Excellent. So both of you give me a D10 so we can figure out how many hours this is going to be.
8.
Okay, so you've got 8 hours of insanity and 4 hours, and then both of you give me a D10 again.
6.
6. All right. So, so this is pretty funny. So, Art, Simon straight up faints. He just faints. He just passes the fuck out. And that 8 that you rolled will be for 8 rounds, is what they call it. And Art or Matt, you gained a new phobia. So let's go to the random table. I love random tables.
Agoraphobia doesn't make any sense. It should be
E100 time. Here we go.
Nice.
31.
There we go.
31. That's gonna be.
Oh, this is so appropriate.
What is it?
Disposophobia, fear of throwing stuff out, hoarding.
Oh,
shit!
And so she comprehends. Real quick, if I may, Patrick.
Please, the floor is yours.
She is overwhelmed at first, and it's rats. She hates rats, and then she looks at like this forest of. It's got to be more than hundreds. It's got to be like thousands of rats in varying states because he's old and like. How much does she comprehend? Like, are these offerings, she thinks, or does she process it and like maybe she doesn't process it and she's like, we must add more rats. We need more rats in the trees. We have to add more rats.
I think that she processes. Yeah, I think she thinks. I like the second one. I think she says, "Oh my god, we need to add more rats."
Yeah. Oh, don't step on that. Don't step on that skull. Don't step on that skull. Don't faint on that skull, Simon. We need to hang that back up. These need to stay. And then she like pans the camera out. Tom, if you see up here, you see we have these, and these are perfect. And we don't need to do anything with this.
Perfect. And Tom is starting to freak out. So actually, I do need to make insanity rolls for everybody. I guess I could hand wave that, but it's more fun to make rolls. Let's just roll some D100s real quick. 3, 4. Let's just see who got what. Yeah, no. Tom's gone. Like the camera is on the ground right now. You as you're pointing things out, the camera hits the ground. Tom is running back towards town right now. I think Paul and Manda are far enough away where they're looking for band-aids or vomiting or whatever, where they haven't come upon this scene yet. And I think Ellie is also she's just standing there, just staring. She's like, this is she just keeps saying this is.
We need all of them. I agree. We need them all.
Yeah. So there you guys go. That's what we're doing at the moment. So above the table, now I have to figure out, because you guys are fucking insane for a really long time. I think we're gonna have a fast forward moment, if that works for you guys.
Yeah, so like you can do it a couple different ways. Like with Shirley, like I just possessed this phobia for 9 hours,
couple hours.
Yeah. So like I'll continue on doing that. Like you could hand wave. You don't have to leave Art fainted for 6 hours or something like that.
I think Art's it's whatever the rounds are. I don't remember what the round time is. So we'll just say it's a couple of minutes and you come to. So Art will give you some agency back. It's been maybe 10 minutes. What have you been doing for 10 minutes, Shirley? That's a really long feint. What have you been doing for 5 minutes, Shirley?
I think she's been like picking up the things that she saw fall and like arranging them in piles and like trying to she's trying to locate all right, this one, she's trying to match up the skulls to the bodies in the trees and stuff.
All right.
Oh, Simon, good, you're awake. We have some cleaning to do. We need to match these up, and Yeah, we want to leave these in the tree. I really think it completes the aesthetic. It's very pleasing.
Yeah, and Ellie is in the fetal position, like back up against the hedge at the house. She's in the fetal position, just like rocking back and forth. So Art, what's Simon gonna do with this?
So Simon's coming too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Simon, he sort of comes to, and then, like a good professional YouTuber that he wants to be, he sort of grabs his phone and realizes it was sort of like pointing straight up his nostrils or something awkward, but it's still recording. And he's sort of lost it a little bit, right? Obviously, because he fainted. So what he's going to do is he's going to use taping it as sort of like a tether, sort of like this layer between him and what's actually right in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
He's not looking at 5 billion maggots on a billion rotting corpses. He's looking at his phone. His phone's looking at like a scene straight from hell.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's sort of incoherent, but he's still trying to sort of, while he's shaking, he's trying to sort of, film a little bit still.
Okay. That works. Give me a listen roll.
All right. Success, 40 on a 65.
You start to hear from deeper in the woods a bunch of rustling. A bunch of tiny feet rustling.
And so Ellie's the sound person. Does she still have her gear, or did she just say nope and drop it? And
no, we'll say she's still got like the boom is in one hand and the headphones are like on. Like she's still in the position like a normal thing she'd be recording or whatever, but she's in the fetal position with these things, just like, oh god,
yeah,
oh god.
And I start like tapping her leg. I'm like, Ellie, can you hear that? Can you point the mic out there? Can you hear that? What is that? Can you hear that? I'm hearing something.
And she looks at you, and she very slowly, like she's in a trance, starts holding out the thing, and she's like, what is that? Like she's starting to come out of this fetal position like thing. She's like, what, Simon, what is that sound? What is coming from in the woods?
And I'm like, I don't know. What does it sound like? You have the headphones. What does it sound like? Should I put on the headphones?
Yeah, she hands you the headphones.
Okay, and I sort of slip them on, and I'm like back, like, yeah, so I'm trying to hear what the sound is, and I got the phone pointed at me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just sort of, and then I stop, and I like go quiet so I can really focus on what I'm trying to hear.
And it sounds like dozens of little claws scampering through underbrush, and you hear squeaks.
And and I'm like, Auntie, there's something coming. I think there's something crawling out here.
What's the state of Shirley right now? Like, how long is she dealing with this for?
So, what did you roll? You rolled like a 9. It's been about 20 minutes, maybe. So you still got some crazy lady time.
So I she still hates rats, and this isn't directly related to it. She's curious. And so, like, while he's filming, she's still not piecing this together. Like, then, like, she, like, kind of pops up. Like, if he's filming like this, like, she kind of walks by behind him, like, kind of creepy, like, wide-eyed and staring. She, like, moves forward to him a little bit, but she's hesitant. And she's not fascinated with what's in the tree and what's on the ground. She's now just, like, standing right behind Simon in the video shot.
Give me a listen yourself, because you didn't do a listen. Let's see if you're picking up on these scurrying sounds.
Okay.
That you hear the same thing, and that snaps you out of it. Your fear of rats and disgusting, creepy crawly mice like overrides this other, like, this compulsion, this compunction to start like stacking little rat skull pyramids around.
So she processes it. She turns to Simon, realizes like he's streaming on his phone, turns back to the rats, turns back to Simon, looks down at her hand, and realizes she's holding like a 3-week-old rat head, and just like chucks it into the woods,
yeets it. Okay,
and yeah, yeet is exactly what she says because that's her.
Yeah,
and she
absolutely.
grabs Simon and she like starts tugging on him like.
Okay. Are you willingly starting to follow their YouTube boy?
Yeah, but I'm still like, okay, so there's something in the woods. I don't know what it is, but I'm hearing some really crazy things. I'm going with my aunt. Are we going back in the house, Aunt? Where are we going?
She takes the like phone, and she's like, there are things in the woods. Like this is all of a sudden like turned into found footage, and like she's not even like processing like what you're recording, why you're using your phone, while you're not using official equipment. But
which is on the ground right there. Like Tom left the camera on the ground.
Oh yeah, like the camera's on the ground and recording. Yeah. So it's just our feet, and then like but you're picking up our conversations. This is brilliant.
And then I stand in the corner.
So she's like talking like way too close to the like, I hear them. Simon, do you hear them? Oh, rats! Why are you just standing there? Let's go.
Yeah. So and then I assume, you're having some trouble walking, right?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. So maybe I'm helping Aunt Shirley out a little bit. As we're walking, I'm like, okay, Aunt Shirley, let's get in the house. Let's
house. Why are we staying?
Well, because I mean, like something's coming, right? Like, don't we have to film what's coming? Isn't that part of the? And then I were like, so Aunt Shirley, maybe now I should tell you.
Now seems like a good time.
Now seems like a good time.
You need to sit down for this. Let's get in the house. Let's sit down. I need to film this for my YouTube channel.
Incredible.
So she doesn't quite process it, and it will, but she's like, okay, if you think inside is you mean the show, right? Footage for the show?
I mean, sort of, like, Aunt Shirley, you sort of inspired me. Like, I want to drop out of college and start a YouTube channel.
This is not...
And this is like the best video to launch my channel with. Like, it's so crazy, right, Aunt Shirley?
Simon, look up.
And I go,
there are thousands of dead rats, and there are maggots on your head, and I hear them. They've got to be so close. I can almost feel them, Army. Why do you think this is a good time for me?
I mean, like, have
Drop
you
out
ever
of college?
Have you ever seen this on another YouTube video? I feel like this is kind of a new thing, right?
Simon!
And I'm like, okay, Auntie, okay, what should we do? What should we do? And I'm still holding my phone out to the window.
Are we in the house now?
Is that where are you getting dragged to the house? If not, Ellie is going to stand up and scream, "Get in the fucking house!"
Oh, sounds like we shouldn't go in the house.
Yeah. By the way, I shared with you guys. I realized I had a visual for this the entire time.
Nice.
That's what you're seeing in the yeah. It's awful. It's really just horrible.
Do we kind of like? Does it look like the ground's kind of moving?
Oh yeah. The whole like in the far distance. It's not quite to the middle distance yet, but there's a carpet of squeaking things. Yeah. So are you making like a tree and getting the fuck into the house, or getting back to town? What's the plan here, guys?
What's Simon doing?
Well, Simon, again, because Simon, he's probably still in that age where he's not quite processing risk correctly, as late teens don't. So he's still, he thinks he might be safe in the house, and he's just trying to film through a window.
Okay, so we're already in the house, is what you're saying?
If you, that's I would
fine.
have done that, so I could keep trying to film it. And I'm like, Ellie, you got to help me, okay?
Ellie, you do not work for him. You do not work for a college dropout. And can we just process what the hell is going on? First off, I'm not even going to touch on the fact that you thought it was a good idea to tell me that in the rat murder village after the rat murderer almost took my foot off, Simon. Maybe you do need college. Because obviously you're a fucking moron.
And
now,
in-game,
Ellie, you still work for me. Where's our video? Where's our camera?
It's outside. At that point, all three of you look through the old window and you see it outside, and there's a light on it. And
well, Simon, this would be a great segment for your new YouTube channel. You can call it Simon Says.
I know.
Better put your hat on.
Yeah, and as humiliating as that is, I'm like, that's a pretty sweet camera. And I'm looking down at my phone, and I'm looking at the big bright light on that camera, and I'm like, I think I got to go for it.
As you're looking out the window, the three of you are looking out the window, that light starts to flicker and dies, and you start to see things kind of wiggling over it. And I think now is when we should probably fade to black with that.
Nice.
Sweet.
Very nice. Well, this took a turn.
Yeah, it's this one goes balls to the wall, fellas. Like it's going to be a whole thing.
Nice.
So,
very nice.
There you go. Good shit.
Have you ever run this one before?
I have not.
Oh, nice.
So, good stuff, fellas.
Yeah, great job, Patrick.
Yeah,
hilarious bringing up the college thing like in the midst of. I love it. There were so many good things tonight, like the transition to found footage.
Yep.
And that were hilarious.
Yeah.
And the swirling yourself. Yeah, that's pretty too.
It was good. It's good.
Yeah.
It gets really gross really fast. So I'm excited to see. There's still, depending on how next session goes, there's probably a couple of sessions left in this, but
nice.
We'll see. We'll see if this has got legs.
Nice.
I will say the few times I played Call of Cthulhu, like I played other games that sort of try and scratch the same itch, but none of them have really given me like that sort of kind of vibe or that chill like Call of Cthulhu Adventures have.
Nice. Did I get you guys with the gross factor today?
When the maggots were dropping on it, I was just kind of like,
okay.
Man.
Okay, good. I was a little worried that I wasn't gonna get that out there, but it's really gross. I was also, when you guys were like, does it smell worse in here? Does it smell worse in here? I'm like, oh no, So, yeah, trying not to railroad too much, but there's
it's wonderful.
Choo-choo, motherfucker.
Yeah, there's an adventure. I want to experience it. So we have one more session this month.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I guess we have to talk about what we're doing on the 27th. It'll either be Pathfinder or something else on for the channel. That's neither here nor there. The next month, we're on a normal-ish schedule. I know, Patrick, you have some things going on, but we have an extra Thursday next month. So we'll have a Damn Fine Copy episode. And then presumably this is a little one-shot. I don't know how far along we're in. You don't have to tell me, but we'll have a little wrap-up on Call of Cthulhu after we finish that too. So.
Yeah, and then eventually in the nearish future, I think it'll be time for some Deadlands.
Nice.
Yeah.
I really want to play a witch in Deadlands.
Yeah.
Yep.
You thinking that's what you're leaning towards after you
100% what's next.
Nice.
100% what's next.
Did we explain in the intro like how the rotation is supposed to work? Did we ever talk about? I don't know if this is the right place for it, but
hey, we got some time. I think that we had touched on it briefly.
I think we've alluded to like we're not running like 5-year long campaigns or anything like that. But I don't think we ever like talked about the rotation specifically or anything like that.
Yeah, just the idea is that, part of this is we make sure we all get turns GMing. So like when one person's sort of mini campaign ends, the person who was on the bench sort of steps up, takes over and runs his own mini campaign. And that way, there's always two of us running something. One of us is sort of on the bench. And yeah.
Yeah, and I need the G, and we can do this in like August or something. I need the GM breaks.
Yeah,
is what I've like found. Like it's a good chance to like recharge and like because I tend to like go balls deep into consumption of things, and so it's nice to like come up for air, and that'll be nice. Yeah. Sweet.
Get out of your own stink.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome job tonight, Patrick.
Yeah, thank you. It was really good. Really fun.
Appreciate you guys. Looking forward to Pathfinder next week, man.
Yeah, sounds great.
Good stuff.
All right. Patrick, you want to take us out?
Yeah, go home. Everybody, wash your hands because it makes me feel itchy just talking about maggots. So it's been good. Anybody go to see Oppenheimer this weekend?
Not quite yet. I heard you got tickets though, so I'm a little jealous.
Are you seeing it on the big thing they made a big deal of?
No,
the IMAX, whatever.
70 millimeter. No, I am not.
Well, there's only how many theaters of that in
19?
Yeah, there's not a ton.
So,
well, Atlanta's got to have one, right? Not to
I'm
reveal
sure
where you live. Sorry,
I'm sure it's in it. Oh, it's okay. My address is no. No, I'm pretty sure there is one in Atlanta, but nobody actually wants to drive into Atlanta to do that. So, but
I don't know if I could sit through a 3-hour movie in a theater anymore. Like, I need a break there.
Wow.
Just while we're on the subject of being old people, I have trouble with IMAX movies because they're kids these days with their volume turned up so loud. Like the IMAX film the last IMAX film I saw was Dunkirk, a Christopher Nolan film, just like Oppenheimer. And the soundtrack was so overwhelming that it was physically uncomfortable.
Wow.
To be sitting there. And I know his whole thing is like, oh, it doesn't matter if you hear all the dialogue, so I don't mix it well. But it was literally like shaking the theater. And I was like, this is uncomfortable. I don't enjoy this at all. And so I haven't been to an IMAX film since. And I was debating Oppenheimer, but I'm like, I don't want to risk it. Like if they crank it, so if that's part of the IMAX experience, I don't know. So
we're going to see it in regular. I just, it's.
Are you seeing it in regular IMAX or regular theater?
Regular theater. Like it's 30. I know. All right, fuck you guys. It's like $30 to go see an IMAX movie, and it's 15 or whatever to go see it. And then an arm and a leg for anything else at the theater. But yeah.
And there's people there, and no one wants to deal with that. So Buford, Georgia has one. I assume that's Atlanta.
It is. It's actually I have some friends that live over on that side of town. I do not live on that side of town, and it's an hour commute to get to that side of town. So
there's nothing. I guess I could go to Indianapolis or Texas if I really wanted to see it. Two places I don't really want to go to. Indianapolis.
I think. Okay, so nobody's seen Oppenheimer. Are you going to go see Barbie? Are we gonna? Where do we fall on the Barbenheimer or the
Patrick, quit giving them free promotion. You're falling in the trap just like everyone else.
I'm so excited, man. I'm not gonna lie. Two movies of the summer. I'm equally excited for Barbie. Okay, maybe I'm more excited for.
I still have to watch Dungeons and Dragons. I'm way behind on this stuff.
Oh, it's so.
That's pretty good. I gotta say,
it's fun.
Yeah,
but fuck that system. We're not gonna play that system here. So.
All right.
Well, that's the thing. We were talking about the rotation just to bring it back on track.
So
once you wrap up this, I'm going to run Dungeons and Dragons.
Naturally.
And
of course.
Because that's what we want. We want Pathfinder and Dungeons and Dragons happening simultaneously.
At the same time, right.
And I'm going to run Forbidden Lands at the same time. So we get 3 fantasy systems at the same time.
Nice. Very nice. All right.
Art, what are you going to run?
Well, my intention is to run the homebrew John Le Carré. So I need to. I've been doing a little bit of prep for that. There's a lot left to go on some levels because of the Foundry upgrade to version 11. So,
well, let's save this for our damn fine coffee and all this good talk and
good stuff.
All right. So now, does somebody want to officially take us out?
Yeah, folks, if you want to check us out, we have a Twitter and an Instagram. And if you're listening to this on podcasts, go give us a like and subscribe over on YouTube. Black Lodge Trivia. Well, you can go find History Table Podcast too. Black Lodge Trivia Night on all the social media stuff. Subscribe. If you're watching this on YouTube and you want the double dose, you can go subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Reviews, likes, all that stuff. That helps spread the word. Recommend it to a listener. Mom, recommend it to your book club. That'd be great. All right.
That was the indignity of having to hear the other name.
Yeah. Art, you're gonna set up a Threads account for us, right?
Yeah.
All right. Good.
I think I think if you just log in.
Yeah, I think we settled we have one by default.
Oh, that's right. We do. Yeah,
right. We'd have one by default. Okay. So does somebody want to take us out officially? So thanks a lot, everybody. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit like or subscribe, comment. Any type of interaction helps. If
at
you're
Trainwreck Games,
at Trainwreck Games. If you are listening on your podcast, it's the Challenge Recap podcast on MTV.
Wow.
Okay, so who's really going to take us out?
All right. Good night, folks.
Good night.
Good night. Bye.
The music during the RPG session in Foundry was provided by the Foundry module Tabletop RPG Music and composed by Ian Fisher. You can find his Patreon at www.patreon.com/tabletop RPG music, all one word.